Hey, Countdown to the Geeks. We're back with two awesome guests. You may know one of them, you may know the other from two awesome TV shows. One, you may know her, Nicole Maines, who played Dreamer in Supergirl. And then also, we've got Adam Huss, who has come out in Powers from Stars. They're working on a little comic that they have that they've teamed up together, and we're going to talk about Truth Man. But before we get them in the room, we've got to give a quick shout out to our friends at Dragon's Lair Alamo Ranch. Um, if you want to play 40K, D&D, Pokemon, Magic, if you want to come and talk about comics, you want to sign up for a subscription box, this is where you want to come. Also, our friend Nasser, who's putting on a show November 15th at the Red Oak Ballroom at the Norris Center. Go check the guest list. You've got Cullen Hamner. Cully Hamner is going to be there from Blue Beetle. Mike Norton, who's worked on Revival and who worked on Blue Beetle as well. There's a lot more independent writers and artists. But let's get our guests in the room so we can start talking about their comic. Let's get them in. How's it going, guys?
Hi, it's going very well. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
No, thank you guys. So for you two, how did you guys meet and say, hey, we're going to write a comic?
Yeah, well, I guess I'll take that one since I'm the one who, like you, pestered Nicole because I still pinch myself that I get to write a comic with her. We have a mutual friend in common, Isabella Vidovich. She's an actress. She was also in Supergirl. She played young Supergirl. And
nice.
Yeah, so that's where their friendship started. And they kept in touch. And I know Bella then hooked me up. Adam, my husband, has this company, Small Town Weirdo, hooked us up to Nicole because we loved what she stands for, what she's doing, a very similar message with our company. And then Nicole graciously wore the clothes and posted them. And then we ran into her at the Queer Tees. And I was like, I am a huge fan of yours. You're writing Secret Six and like everything you're doing. And so I said, can I pitch something to you? And would you be interested in writing it if you have the time? And she's like, well, the Secret Six run is winding down. Let me know what it is. And I did. And then the rest is history. I think it resonated with her. And here we are.
So Nicole, so basically you, of course, you weren't a comic book writer prior to this. And a lot of people tend to know that you went to DC and pitched it to them. And they're like, okay, well, why don't you write it? I mean, what was your reaction about that? Like, where you're like, no, that's not what I wanted. I wanted you to just continue my character.
Oh, I was very like, I think you guys have sorely misunderstood what it is that I do. I do not write the words. I say the words that other people write, sometimes convincingly. But also shortly after my first meeting with them, where I had talked about wanting to continue Dreamer's story in the comics, COVID hit, and then nobody was doing anything. Nothing was moving forward, and that ended up becoming the perfect time to start working on my graphic novel, Bad Dream, a Dreamer story. This was our number one mistake. We thought it'd be so cute if we did the cover upside down, and now I'm always holding it upside down. But yeah, and so that so this was kind of my COVID project that kind of got out of control, and I really fell in love with writing, specifically comic books, and it wasn't something that I really expected that was going to speak to me or fulfill something in me, but it did. And I've been very, very fortunate to get to continue working on Dreamer at DC. But I've never done a project outside of that. I've never done anything at all independent. And so when Adam brought Truth Man to me, I thought it was, first of all, a great idea. But also I saw the opportunity to tell stories that you can't really tell or you can, but sometimes not as easily when you're working with really big publishers. And so there was There was
Yeah.
some stuff that we could do in this that I wouldn't be able to do in DC. Mostly swear. I've noticed mostly. I really like no longer feeling shackled by growlits, and I'm like, yeah, I can drop the F-bomb whenever I want. All right, and that is true freedom.
That's great.
And so, Adam, where did this idea come up for your
Well,
comic?
it all stemmed from. I mean, I'm a huge comic fan as well, and a huge comic nerd. And I grew up with, I would like literally you at a family party, you'd find me in my uncle's room, and he had like these, like stacks and stacks of comics and number ones and all that. And I would just be in there like slipping them in, and he'd come in and freak out like, you can't take them out of that thing.
Yeah.
But
Oh no.
I know, but I've always been like a huge comic fan, and so and like you said, earlier when we were talking, there's that the representation you see, and whether it's comics or YA novels, or when you see yourself, you're just kind of like, wow, I needed that message, And so the outcast kid, all that was such a. I resonated with that as a young kid, and comics were like my saving grace, and I did love Superman, and that idea of like, hey, this guy, like this masculine hero man, sees everybody at the same and loves everybody the same. I love that kindness, And so I wrote a screenplay because I'm an actor, writer first, screenplay writer first. And my story was about a protagonist who writes a comic that's an underground comic. It's his way he finds his voice in this school where he's an outcast. And it winds up turning the tides in the school because it becomes so popular. It lampoons the school, lampoons these bullies, exposes the scandal and the bullying. And all of a sudden, Truth Man, this hero, becomes like an icon for these nerds and these outcast kids in the school. And they get on top. The hierarchy changes. They get on top, especially our protagonist. He finds like that the dream guy that he was crushing on might like him. He's getting everything he wanted. And then he sort of gets more and more dark in the comic, and he gets a little bit of a bully himself. So I wrote that screenplay, and it's a live action screenplay, and there's an element of comic book animation in it where it's like a Scott Pilgrim thing where it comes to life in his mind as he sees people coming at him, his point of view. And we got this great producer on board, director Bradley Bredwig. He came on board and said, I love this idea. Let's go. Let's make this. And then we got the California tax incentive, which is a really rare thing to get, and then the strike hit. And then we lost our investor because the strike hit, and they got cold feet. And then the fires hit. And so all these different things slowed down the screenplay process and getting the movie off the ground. So we were told to go make the comic, like the actual IP for this comic book. And I mean, it was exciting to me. That was really cute.
Sorry.
It was exciting to me, but it was also
kids.
There we go. It was exciting to me. It's exciting to Nicole's cat, and then like, but also I was like, I have to go make this comic with like no money and no means and no budget. Like, how am I going to do this? And again, like, I never thought that I would make a comic, sort of like Nicole's story, but then I was like, you know what? I love comics. I'm up for this challenge. I'm going to do this, and then talked to Nicole, talked to Chris Abels, our amazing artist, started just like seeing if there was interest in people coming on board this grassroots effort to make this indie comic. And it all just came together. And here we are, almost done with our origin comic, 5-6 weeks in here. So.
Yeah. And so it's on Patreon, so where people can contribute to it. So is this going to be a hard copy eventually?
I think that's the dream goal because yeah, I'd like to be.
It's always a little more special when you
can
can hold it.
A lot of people have been asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing with Kickstarters. The Kickstarters really do work once you can find, what the cost is for publishing, and then if you do incentives like, say, $5 you get the digital copy, $10 you get, the first 2 issues, and then. Or if you're just going to go straight graphic novel, you can go, hey, you contribute $25, it goes to the graphic novel. But then also you can do incentives where, the reason why I bring this up is because I've worked with a lot of comic artists who tend to do this, where they'll have their friends who can do a variant cover, which that's what a lot of comic collectors love, is like artwork by Alex Ross or Art Germ or Phil Noto, or so when you have those incentives, those kind of entice them to come on. And then, of course, if you have, and then also too, I've seen this before, where they're like, "Hey, if you donate this much, I'll draw you in the comic, or I'll make you a
Well, we
character in
were
the
actually
comic."
talking about that, and I think, really landed on a gold mine here, where, yeah, we could draw people in their comics or whatever, but people's pets,
Oh yeah, we did say that.
I think, is the real.
That's right.
Hey, you know that, and there are cat lovers, and like my baby's around here somewhere. She's a Chihuahua. She's my
Mm.
wife's, but of course her name is
Well,
Harley Quinn,
yes.
and she's crazy.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's great. No, one time I had
but
Mark and
yes,
Draco. You know, he wrote. You know him, Mark and Draco, comic book writer. He wrote. It's escaping me now with a comic he wrote that was pretty popular. But Manhunter, I want to say.
okay, yeah, yeah.
He did the Batwoman comic for a while, and
Mhm.
it was when I was on Power, and he came to visit the set. He knew someone on Power, and he's like, "Oh, you love comics?" So all of a sudden, he drew me as her therapist, Dr.
Not
Huss.
bad.
But even better, he drew my dog as the therapy dog. So like that, I was psyched. That, like
What?
in this comic, all of a sudden, my little doggy was
That is really great.
immortalized. You know.
Hey, you know when you know people like that and they put you in when they're not supposed to,
Yeah.
that that's always awesome. So I have a cameo in. So I've worked on. There was a show here in San Antonio, which was a comic show, which was called Alamo City
Mhm.
Comic Con. So we did a couple of variant covers for the show, and we had one where it was Deadpool, pre-Deadpool movie, Hawkeye. So Deadpool's jumping into the river walk, and then I'm kind of like in the top corner with the camera taking a photo, which is, the artist is cool. He just kind of he's like, hey, just take a look at that picture up there in that corner. Stuff like that's
Yeah.
awesome when people do that for you.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
Now,
Or
yeah,
monsters,
and
drawing people as they've turned into these terrible, awful, post-apocalyptic monstrosities.
Yeah, that would be cool.
yeah.
I'm trying to show
That
you
might
a
So
even be
in this
variant.
book,
better. Someone's like, "Draw me, but like my jaw's fallen off and replaced by fucking."
Or draw
That could
my
be cool.
dog like a monster. That would be.
Totally.
I was trying to find the variant
so
cover to show
we're
you one of them that we have been doing that with this great artist Zachary Brunner. We've been doing some variant covers
yeah.
because just to change it up, and he's gonna hopefully do all our
Yeah.
covers. And I wanted to pull it up here on my iPad, and of course now when you save everything, I don't know where they go anymore. It like goes to recent, and I can't find it. I'm gonna find it though. So I don't know.
I
So
have noticed
between
sometimes with art, for some weird reason, it's like, I remember on Secret Six, sometimes Steven would send us um PDFs or whatever, and I'd go to save the image because like, this is
Yeah.
amazing. I want the inks on my phone. And it would save like date wise, like 2009 for some reason. So sometimes you have to
Right.
scroll all the way up. I don't know what
It's
that
I
is.
did find it, but I don't know.
Is it from 2009?
No, I don't know. It
Oh,
was just it was
nice.
there. But this is like a
It's a
variant
great
cover
cover.
by Zachary Brunner. Um, it's not doing it justice because
I love
That's awesome.
this. This is great.
yeah, but the inspiration for this was very Barbarella, very like
Bury that.
National Lampoons, like even that's the first National Lampoons with Chevy Chase, and he's like on them holding a tennis racket, and his kids are, and the wife's on the leg. That was the whole.
Yeah.
That was the whole like inspiration for this part.
Nice. So between acting and writing, which is harder, the writing for the comic or the acting side of it?
Oh, acting.
Between both of you.
Acting is so much, because acting, that's your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
agree.
Also with writing, you have editors to help, and you have drafts that you can keep going back over. Acting is like, you did a good job or you didn't.
So,
Yeah, that is true.
and that was one of the things I was going to ask both of you as well. So you have your artist, and this is the thing: when you're writing something, you're writing the page and you're giving it to the artist, and the artist is supposed to take what you've written and convert it into art, and they're supposed to have their imagination kind of do it, but at the same time, depending on the writers, they'll say, hey, I want this
Yeah.
page to be like this or vice versa. Have you guys found your way of working with the artist? Do you kind of give more just the wording,
Mhm.
or do you give more of description what you wanting on those pages? How do
I
y'all do it?
found that artists very often appreciate having as much to go on as possible. That said, they also appreciate the leniency to, if the muses take them in a certain direction, to go follow that inspiration.
Wow.
That's always what I try to do in my scripts is I'm like, hey, here's my idea, especially for Dreamer and like her dream sequences, which are so surreal. I'll be like, hey, this is kind of what I'm thinking, and symbolism, dream dictionary wise, these are the points we have to hit. That said, if you come up with some Salvador Dali, like Lovecraftian bullshit that you really feel moved to draw, do that, and I can go back and adjust the script if I need to tweak something to
Oh,
fix
wow.
your art to match the art.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's been
because
very. This process has been like that. I'd
yeah,
say.
the art is everybody's favorite part of comic books. So I'm like, if you really feel inspired to do something, that's always going to be better than whatever half baked thing I cooked up with.
Yeah, and Chris is
Okay.
so open to collaborating like that. Like
Yeah.
he's very like here's my take.
Hmm.
What is this close? And then we'll be like, oh, a little more like when we were sort of developing Truth Man's look. A little more
Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet, a little more young Kurt Russell. Like and we found
Mhm.
that perfect. And now going into this, we are going to go from this origin comic to like a 12 issue arc. And he said when I was
Oh, nice.
pitching him the idea that Nicole and I were breaking the last couple of weeks, he's like, I'm going to need to sit with you guys and like you have to tell me what these
Yeah.
people look like and these monsters look like that are in Nicole's head. And she has this amazing idea for a pyramid of like cheerleaders, like the thing conglomerated to get like the kind of like the dogs.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
So
I
he's
get
like,
what you're talking about.
we have to sit and like, you have to describe these
Yeah.
things.
And I'm just and of course my note is always make it worse. Make it more awful,
Yeah.
more terrible, more body horror, more vomit.
Yeah, we want that for sure.
No, there is, and that's the thing about the comic industry. There's a niche for horror. So I just had Jeremy on, and he created Ignite,
Mhm.
and Ignite is doing a lot more horror-ish type comic book based, and not superhero-ish. So he has one called Murder Podcast that's
Uh-huh.
coming out,
Amazing.
and the artwork is the artwork is awesome. I mean, I got to read it because in PRH they'll give you
Yeah.
previews to read to kind of help push it for the store. So I read it. As soon as I read it, man, I was mind blown. And then when I saw your guys' stuff and just kind of going through it, and I'm like, I can see this. I like what they're doing, and I want the independent comics to get noticed and get out there because I feel if and you guys have mentioned it before. If you create the story, somebody's going to come and
Yeah.
get it. It's just you have to create it for them and give it the opportunity for them to
Yeah.
find it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree with that and love that. And I think that's like I did say, this is a comic that exists in a movie, but this offshoot of it is its own thing. It's not the storyline of that movie. That's going to be very different. This is like a dark, fun, scary adventure where we get to go and tell this story about, and it's very apropos in the zeitgeist of what's happening in this country right now, and we're hitting on all that kind of stuff, and like, hey, how does this ugliness on the inside, this hypocrisy that people are hiding, what if that took over them? It literally took over as it is taking over, and this all became on the outside, and the world fell,
Yeah.
and
What
then
happens when what happens when you lose your humanity to willful cruelty?
yeah,
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 true. That's kind of where we are right now.
yeah,
And and that's the thing. We need people out there telling stories to let people know and open people's eyes because some people are walking with their eyes, horse blinders on,
Yeah.
and we need, especially the
And
younger
what
generation.
Yeah. And what else are comic books for? This is what they're meant to be doing. They've always been the vehicle to talk about issues that matter, be them social, political, international.
Yeah,
That's what
and
it's for.
so for the research for both of you, you mentioned the dream for Dreamer. How much research are you
sorry,
doing on
I'm
the dream
losing you guys.
sequences? Where are you getting?
No.
Um,
It was like a
yeah, a
little
little bit of
lag.
lag. It looks like. For
Oh yeah.
so for you, Nicole, are you looking at dreaming books as references to help you?
Yeah. I don't know if I have any in this room with me. No, I don't. I've moved them into my bedroom. I have them all on my nightstand like a crazy person. But yeah, I've gotten a lot of dream dictionaries, which are like literally just like A to Z, have like random shit like circus, scissors, wolf, chase. And it talks about the different variations that those might appear in your dreams and what those might mean. And then, yeah, other things that are talking more about like theory. Um, but that's just a good jumping off points because, and also with comic books and with seeing the future and, Naltorian, yada, 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 it can truly be whatever I need it to be.
Yeah.
But infinity is kind of a very hard uh uh ceiling to kind of reach, so it's nice to have something to kind of narrow it down a little bit and help me just kind of come up with a couple of ideas. And then maybe if somebody's reading the comic later on and they're like, oh, what did the I was just talking to Jadzia Axelrod, and who I'm working on Justice League with right now.
I was gonna bring that
Um,
up later.
yeah, about one of there's like a recurring imagery of like a white picket fence in Bad Dream, and then it sort of deteriorates over the course of the comic. And each dream, it's getting a little bit more rotted and a little bit more
Oh
worn
wow.
down, and it's meant to. And in the dictionary, it talks about like fences kind of are meant to represent people's relationship with like their home and their family, and depending on the state of disrepair it's in, maybe their relationship with that family might be better or worse, and yada yada yada. So like, is it especially poignant? I don't know, but I like to think that it's kind of cool if somebody wants to go and cross reference some of the symbols that are in her visions. They can be like, oh, okay, there is a little bit of rhyme and reason to what she's seeing.
Nice. I mean, it's true.
That's
I mean,
very
because
cool.
in Latinos, grandmother, my mom, we would always go to my grandmother. Like if we had a dream that
Hmm.
we got bit by a snake, or if we were drowning or something, we would go
Yeah.
to her like, "Hey, I had a dream of this. Oh, she goes, that means this." And it's
Oh,
always,
yeah.
yeah, we always went to our elders for stuff like that. In which
Yeah.
I feel a lot of our elders are passing away, and that is
Mhm.
kind of dying away. So you bringing that kind of reference in there, I feel, is kind of bringing back like, hey, dude, dreams do mean things, and they've been around for
Yeah.
years.
Oh, there's
Um,
such a I mean, in so many different cultures as well. Everybody had different beliefs about dreams, and it's interesting to see the ways that some of them intersect, and some people had shared beliefs in different points in time, and then it's all very interesting. And with
yep.
dreams and um things like astral projection, and I was reading like like about like the akashic records and just like these weird theories that all kind of like relate to, is such a interesting playground.
No, I
It's
mean, it
fun.
opens it.
Doesn't make any
Yeah.
goddamn sense, but that's the fun part.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing when you guys research, and when you put that into this comic and you have the research behind it and to back everything that you guys are writing, how much of it, Adam and Nicole,
Yeah.
are you kind of putting from yourself into this comic?
I mean, a lot. I mean, there is like, our own journeys personally. That's why I wrote the screenplay originally, that journey. And then to find a voice in the voiceless, for what is, I really do love what Nicole said about, and I just had to write it down, like what happens when you lose your humanity to will for cruelty, because what do you do? And that's a big question. Nicole and I are very different in age, and there's a big age gap. And like, what I would do is a little bit different than what her and her peers would do, or where their mind frame is at. And so I find that really interesting, and that brings a fresh voice to the comic to have that perspective from her. And
Nice.
for me, it's like I think a lot of us are screaming to the void on social media, and like you're
Yeah.
kind of like either you're talking to the people who follow you who agree the exact same way, and you're kind of in a bubble and you think, yeah, things are changing, or you're getting, you're talking and getting sort of yelled at by your family, like, why do you got to be so political? So I think this is a great way to, like, hey, I'm going to say what I'm going to say in a different way. And I think that's how
Yeah.
you reach people anyway. And
No, that's
Nicole,
true.
I think, can speak to that too. Like, she told me
Yeah.
the nihilism that her peers are experiencing, that Truth Man's feeling.
Yeah, a lot. I think especially for a lot of young people who, a lot of our first collective memory as a generation are the 9/11 terror attacks and the xenophobic fallout of all of that and the way that that was responded to and the way that that shaped our culture and from then onward, the way things have kind of devolved. I always combination laugh and cry at the meme where it's like, I'm really sick of living through like historical events. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it feels very overwhelming. And I think, especially in the age of technology and in information, we are being bombarded with it from all corners of the world 24/7. And it feels so overwhelming. And then I think, especially queer people who have such a heightened sense of empathy, it can feel very like, cool, I am kind of trapped in a world of willful cruelty and ignorance and bigotry and hatred, and it just seems to be getting worse, and nothing we're
Yeah.
doing seems to be helping, and we are exhausting all nonviolent means of protest, and we are trying to exercise our freedom and our power in whatever channels we can, but through gerrymandering and redlining and voter suppression and all of these other ways, like our power and our voices are being limited. And so what are we even really supposed to be doing? We're losing our rights, left and right. And it just feels so like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to be fighting for? And I
Yeah.
think it becomes so hopeless and it becomes so easy to sink into, and this is just from personal experience, sink into this nihilism, especially me as a trans person who came out so young, growing up experiencing that from right away. It just feels very like, okay, so what parts of humanity are actually worth saving and advocating for? What are we fighting for if it is
Yeah.
2025 and we've really truly learned nothing? What's the point? What's it all for? And Truth Man is a way to explore a lot of those feelings. He is a
Nice.
character who saw this coming, who he has witnessed people's cruelty and evil well before they turned into monsters. And in the 8-pager, he says, he's like, yeah, this is the day that the world ended and everyone turned into monsters. But just if we're spilling all the tea, the world ended a long time ago, long before this, and it was a very long, slow boil descent into this place we find ourselves in now.
Wow.
And he's not looking to save anybody. He's not looking to be the hero. He's just right. And he's just looking to study and document and move forward and because to be informed is to be prepared.
Yeah.
And it isn't until later he realizes that maybe he has actually some way that we could fight back and we could start to shift the scales a little bit,
Oh, nice.
um, and save and maybe possibly save humanity, which is exactly what he's not interested in. So very much the reluctant hero who has to be reintroduced to the goodness of humanity and relearn why the world is worth fighting for.
One thing Nicole and I talked about in breaking this 12-issue arc is, like, very much like vampires, like certain vampire lore. If you kill the big bad,
Mm.
you get them all
Yeah.
back. And but then there's other vampire lore where that doesn't happen. They're dead and that's it, and like they're the undead and that was their choice. So it's like that's the interesting thing we were talking about, is like with certain people that we love that may be on the dark side of things, like there's this hope that They're going to open their eyes. They're going to see. This is what's going to make them see. This is what's going to make them see. Oh, no, this terrible thing is going to make them see. And then it doesn't.
Wow.
And so that is where his, to me, nihilism comes in. And it's like, is his goal to save them all? Or is his goal to be like, burn it all fucking down, you know? But he will, spoiler alert, there will be love and hope along the way that will change his heart.
Because there always is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be. That's what keeps. I mean, listen. When I saw John Hughes movies as a kid, were they totally, problematic? Now, yeah, sure. But there was that message of like, yeah, we're not celebrating the yuppie and the white male like who's got it all. We're actually celebrating the outcast person.
Yeah,
that's who is also a white male.
Who's also a white woman. But
still, really, we are telling the unsung story of the unsung hero.
That's right. It's John Hughes 2025.
Well, no, it's true. Anyway. I mean, I'm the old man. I'm probably older than you. I'm almost 50, so I've been through. Okay.
I'm 48, so I don't.
You do not look. You look younger than that. Way younger than that.
Thanks, man.
But no, those movies, yes, they did inspire us. I guess at that point where we were at growing up, for us, the world has changed. D&D, you were laughed at. You couldn't go out and play D&D at a comic book store. You couldn't play Magic. That was stuff you kept to yourself and your other geek friends because you either got laughed at or you would have gotten picked on.
And that's where we need to get back to as a country. I say this as somebody who's in 2 D&D sessions a week.
Hey, there's nothing wrong. I mean, and that's
twice a week I go, yep, this is the problem.
Okay. What hooked you onto D&D? What was it that really hooked you?
Oh my God. I always loved fantasy. I loved fantasy. I love improv. It's a great acting outlet. It's a great exercise for actors, honestly. Some of my best work that no one will ever see. There's something really exciting about getting to tell a collective story with your friends. And I have 2 campaigns, and one of them is with Jesse Rath, who played Brainiac on Supergirl, and another actor friends of ours. And he goes hard. He'll be like shedding real tears as he's like, it's amazing. Yeah. It's like confronting his character's father figure.
Wow.
No, this is one of the characters.
Her name is
Malshira. Her whole thing is she's just a nightmare. Terrible. That's ironic. Just a terrible, awful 3-foot blighted witch.
So I had Sam Witwer's brother on, Michael, and
he's a friend of mine.
Yeah, and they wrote D&D, the history of D&D.
Yeah, I got a signed copy from Sam for my brother for his college graduation.
Okay, we talked about like if you really were to stop and analyze, the people who played D&D back then are either in the tech world or they're in the movie industry, either writing, movies or TV shows. I feel that D&D was frowned upon back then because they considered it, witchcraft or whatever, but it helped the younger generations, create their imagination. It helped them open the world to, hey, you know what? This is problem solving. If you do this, there's consequences. If you take this thing and you attack this and you only have this much life, you're going to die. So stop and think. And I feel that helped that generation. And I feel when I see kids come into our store and the group of their friends are coming in and they're going to go sit in the back and play, I love it because for us, we didn't have that as kids where we could just come in with a thing of pizza, sit down and chit chat and play D&D. And geek wise, for the movies as well, we looked for that. And you had mentioned, Adam, and I've seen you post on Instagram how Superman really hit you, and it basically you went and watched it more than once. So did I.
Yes.
Because I feel James Gunn is tapping what we need right now in the world. and that's where I loved it as well, because it showed Clark wasn't raised by rich people. He was raised
Mhm.
by the normal people. But even though that child wasn't theirs and he was an alien, they
Mhm.
gave him unconditional love no matter
Yeah.
what. And at the end, that was the biggest
Mhm.
thing. They cared
Mhm.
for him, and even knowing that he wasn't human.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
feel that is what really hit me in the movie. But I mean, yeah, I feel that's what we need, because we need that.
Kindness is the real punk rock.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, I love that.
exactly.
And it is like, my parents really did bring me up like very similar way. Like, just I always say like we're really running low on like old school the old school values of like being a gentleman, or being like just those things that like do change when you stop and sort of like say say thank you to the cashier and recognize that they're like working their ass off,
Yeah.
and not just throw a fit at them because you're having a bad day. Like those little things, saving the squirrel,
Yeah,
like that
exactly.
was funny,
The
but
fact that
it
people
does
didn't
mean a
like
lot.
the squirrel getting saved and they almost cut
I
it,
know,
I was
I know.
like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, what are we doing here?
Well, I think they did cut it, and then they were like, and James was like, no, put that back in.
Yeah.
We're putting it back. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
He's
It's so
Superman.
stupid.
Of course he has the time to save a squirrel.
Yeah,
Because of course he
exactly.
does.
It's not
Because
like
he's Superman,
it's not like
damn
he's
it!
saving this. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's not saving the squirrel over a human.
And see, and that's what I like about, what I've read on yours, and I feel that yes, we need your story to be told in the comic book form for the younger generations that are out there, because I see, and especially here in Texas, we have a lot of transgender and
Yeah.
LGBT that are really hurting right now in Texas.
Yeah.
And I see some kids that come into our store and they're worried,
Yeah.
you know and it's a sanctuary for them. We tell them we accept you for who you are. we don't
Yes.
we don't discriminate anybody. And I feel that's what we need to do for the younger generation, is be there
Yeah.
for them and help them, because it's not easy, growing up in this world as a teenager. Now, if I had to grow up back like right now, man, I don't know how I would be right now, because
Well,
it's
first of
it's
all, you can't tell what's real and what's not.
yeah.
Is in the fact that AI psychosis is something that parents have to be worried about now is insane.
Yes. It's like Running Man. It's basically the Running Man in general.
Yeah.
They basically put, that fake Arnold Schwarzenegger
Yeah.
saying he killed all these people, and it wasn't even him, and it was all AI generated.
It's crazy because it's happening so fast. Like that. Like my dad doesn't fully get it. Like he's like he's on the good
Oh
guy's
yeah.
side, I would say, but he's also like, oh, don't. Come on, I've seen this happen before. Everything's gonna
Yeah.
work out. Everything's gonna work out. And I'm like, yeah, but like I get that, but that's not positive. That's like
Yeah.
faux positivity, and they're these things are real, and they're fucking happening.
Well, and I would say
And
that it also attributes to a kind of it minimizes how serious it
yeah,
actually is, and it comes with a sense of
yeah,
entitlement of like, oh, psh, what, it's gonna be fine. It's like, no, you really do actually need to engage with this in a way that is actually meaningful, not just sweep it under the rug because, oh,
Yeah.
that's somebody else's problem to deal with. It's all of ours. We all share this earth together. We all have a responsibility because that's called being a part of a society. If you don't want to help the people around you, if you don't want to interact with the people around you, if you can't stand that there are other types of people than you around you, that's when you stay at home and don't leave the house. But if
Yeah.
you're going to leave the house, if you're going to be a part of the world, you have a responsibility to, for lack of a better word, cooperate, I guess.
Yeah.
yeah.
No.
I mean, listen, it's wonderful to see. I won't say this because I've been trying to read. Yeah, I stay off the news, and I try to read like
Yeah.
Substack a lot. People that, not just people that are painting a safe picture. They're very realistic how scary this is, and it's all happening now. But like they show a lot of the hope that we don't get reported
Yeah.
on, and so I do. I it's tough because you kind of just see the world as like this hateful thing, especially. I remember when I was writing another screenplay a couple of years ago, this elevated werewolf movie we were writing. It had a lot of like hypocrisy in a small town, and a lot of LGBTQ hatred from like the national Christians in the script, and a lot of feedback we got was like things aren't like that anymore. Like this is dated. I think it's not like that anymore. And I'm like, it is though. You just
Yeah,
don't see it
that
because
part.
it's like hidden. But now it's not hidden.
Yeah.
It's like it was hidden. There was that like, you know, I'll smile your face, and then underneath I'm cursing you. But now it's like I get to curse you right on in person, right online, whatever the hell I do. I'm empowered to do that.
And then I get to go
And
make
so
a GoFundMe to raise funds because
Yeah.
clearly I'm the victim.
Yep.
Yes.
Which is ludicrous.
And it's sad to me that kids don't have this sanctuary place. That they have your sanctuary place. I mean, but that they really are afraid in this 2025 to walk outside in the United States, and like they can't. They're afraid for their lives. They're afraid they might get snatched off the street and thrown into a camp, or deported, or it's really scary.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to your books, guys. I'm looking forward to it. To get the full thing out there. Like I said, I like what I've read.
Thank you.
And the artwork, it's definitely awesome art. And that's the thing about me. Like, I don't know. So I was going to ask about this for both of you, since both of you read comics. So when you grab a comic and you're about to read it, what is your process? Do you analyze the whole page first and then read, or do you just start reading the bubbles and then go back and look at the art?
I look at the art first. I don't.
Do you really?
I want to see if the art looks cool, and then I'll go and I'll read it. I judge books by their cover. Shut up, sue me, take me to jail. I like the pretty pictures.
I do too, though. I mean, because when you see that one comic book that doesn't look like Superman per se, or whatever your hero is, and you're like, I don't know about this. So I think it's definitely the art for me. I really do. I know this is like maybe sacrilegious, but I have really gotten into the guided view on the Comixology. Like, I like the hard copy, but sometimes it's nice to like be in bed and just be like, oh, I get to, and then I like analyze the guided view, and then I pull out and I look at the whole picture.
Okay.
I must imagine that is helpful for not. I guess I have a couple like on my iPad. I don't have the like zoom into each panel, but I can at least split it up into one page. I do like that because there is nothing that bugs me more in a comic, and I am so hell-bent on page turn reveals. I cannot stand when you've got something on the even number and then you've got a big moment on the odd number page, and I know it's coming before I finish the first page because I can see it in my peripheral. I hate it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So I try really hard not to do that in my comics.
Yeah, the guided view, you do not get that.
So, getting back to the other comic that you're working on, and I was going to bring this up, and you brought it up earlier. So, are we looking at another 5-issue run, 6-issue? What are we looking at? For
no, this so Justice League. This is going to be one of the Justice League quarterly issues that comes out next year. Okay. It is going to be 30 pages, so it's a little bit longer than a standard issue. But we're just working on the one issue. Yeah, it's really fun.
Well, and I was going to ask this, I mean, and same thing, you bought this up because you play D&D with Brainy. Why haven't we gotten the Brainy and Nana its own? Well, I mean, of course, they can't transition that particular character from the show to this, but why can't we get a similarity type of thing?
In the comics?
Yes.
Okay, so. First of all, I did originally pitch along with Jesse a spinoff for the two of us after Supergirl. Obviously that didn't get picked up. But it was a good idea that I still had the original pitch to that I would love to do as a comic book someday. That involved like Libra and the Crime Bible from the Batwoman comics. And it was like like one of like the lost editions of the Crime Bible turns up in like a brand new, East Coast kind of mid-Atlantic town. And they have to start, and it's like all about like nightmare magic, and it's kind of pulling from like the zero dimension. There was like a neighboring planet of Naltor and like the Legion of Superheroes. It was gonna be like fucked up and cool and spooky and supernatural. So I'd love to do that at some day. But
sounds awesome.
I haven't brought Brainy into the comics that Dreamer's in now for a couple reasons. One, I haven't been able to figure out how to get Brainy from the 31st century to the 21st century in a way that makes sense with continuity. I did pitch him to be on Amanda Waller's Suicide Squad and Dream Team, and Paul Kaminsky was like, bitch, how? You tell me how the fuck Brainiac 5 is on the. And I was like, just throwing things at the wall. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Didn't stick. It's okay. I got more. Um, so I do
I
want.
mean, come on. Right now, everyone's like stuck in like from the Justice League, like from every era, is stuck because of We Are whatever.
Yeah.
That one with all the Doom, the Legion of Doom brought back all the. Why can't?
Yeah, I think at some point. I think at some point he will. I want to, but I think also, like in the show, Dreamer was like mid-20s. In the comics right now, she's 18. I think it's good to have
Okay,
her build up some of her own superhero stories on her own for a while. Let her be her girl failure self before I think she meets Brainy. I do love them together. I do want to get them back together.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just like having a lot of fun with John Kent right now, though. I'm just like really, really loving all the mess that is.
Are we gonna see that again in Justice League?
I was just gonna ask.
No, John Kent isn't in Justice League. No,
Oh.
it's her and Galaxy, who is Jadzia's character, who was in Galaxy, the Prettiest Star, and Hot Girl. And then it is the rest of the team is Star Sapphire is our leader, and then
nice.
Adam Strange and Green Arrow.
Ooh,
Nice.
It's a really fun team.
Okay.
And of course, Galaxy's dog Argus. Sorry, not a dog. Sandian Surveillance and Protection Unit. Not a dog. Not a dog.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask both of you to entice people who have not read your comic. What would you, and this will be each of you separate, what would you tell a reader to want to come and take a look and read this comic? How would you entice them?
You want to go first?
I'm going first.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say if you have any interest in post-apocalyptic horror themes, that this is a really fun environment. We have a lot of really cool world building happening. And then alongside of that, if you are looking for something where queerness is naturally folded into the world, and then on top of that, something that I think is speaking to what a lot of people are feeling right now and are looking for something that could be in some way, shape, or form therapeutic or cathartic, I think this could be a great outlet for people. And a really fun way to explore a lot of those feelings. Well, like I said, being post-apocalyptic and horror and bloody, and because you gotta make it fun.
Yeah, that's it. What Nicole said was perfect, and exactly that is that it's also fun. It's like it's a fun, scary, gruesome, thrilling superhero Avenger comic, right?
I don't know if we can use that word. I don't know. What? I think we might. Avenger? I think we should probably.
He's an Avenger. Like but not he's. You're right. Forget the Avenger. He is a superhero, but he's a normal guy who finds his strength through his will to do something for himself, to fight back. And then perhaps there is, like in the issues that just dropped now, the panels that just dropped Friday, something occurs, and there will be a power that Truth Man now possesses, and we're going to see how that unfolds. And how he learns to use that, and I think that will be a really, it's like a major plot turner here, and I think it'll be really fun to see how he uses that and how he learns to use it and learns about what his potential really is in this world, and while he's feeling hopeless and all these other things, what does this power give him? And the fact that the source of the power comes from maybe the very thing that caused the apocalypse, that'll be interesting too.
wow. Okay. And so for fans who, because there are a percentage of people who don't do Patreon, how can they
Yes.
go and sign up for that? What is the process so that people who don't know about that, how can they get that?
Yeah, I mean, if you go to @truthmancomic on Instagram, I mean, the link in the bio is the Patreon link. We're constantly posting, if not daily, almost daily, updates, dropping fun behind the scenes things, fun high res. Like today, we dropped a high res image from the panels that's so gorgeous. The
It's
one that's
really
behind
great.
there in the wallpaper. That Chris made it into a high res poster. We get Zachary Brunner's high res posters that we drop. There's others behind the scenes stuff. So that's all we're dropping that daily, like little teases, and you can just click the link to go to Patreon. You can just become a member and check it out. Some stuff is free, and then some stuff you just have to sign up to get to the next level. We also just dropped a couple of the panels on Webtoon and Tapas. Yeah, because we want to, we want people to be able to get this comic because it's important.
Yeah.
But the grassroots efforts are real. So we do need, that is why there's a.
We need that money, girl.
We need.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. They don't realize, a lot of people don't realize, the artists
Nicole.
get paid per page. They get paid for their cover. And then not counting the writers.
Yes.
They have to get paid for what they're writing the pages. I mean,
Yeah.
and a lot of people don't realize
And
that.
listen, the indie effort is really like, not only is that what makes this comic very exciting to me too, and I wanted to say that earlier when you said, well, how would I entice someone? The indie feel of it and that you get to do more in this world is part of the allure. And because it's indie, yes, we're all doing the jobs of like, really 20 people.
Yeah.
And Chris is doing the lettering, not only the inking and the coloring, but he's also doing the lettering. Nicole and I are breaking the story. Then she's doing the outline and writing all the panel, the issues. So yeah, we like she said, we got to pay our people, and we are hopefully this will lead to bigger things. We already have interest from the reason we made this is already bubbling of interest from people. Like, what is this over here? Like, tell us about this. The people that hold the gatekeepers per se. So that's exciting. We're just trying to grow that audience so they're even more enticed to be like, okay, this is something cool. Let's go.
I mean, I noticed y'all did go to San Diego and y'all were promoting in San Diego. Do you plan to maybe go to other shows to help promote it as well? Like Dallas Fan Expo or
I have plans to be at New York Comic Con.
Perfect.
No other ones yet though.
Okay,
Slowly
cool.
but surely. It's always the last minute, like the month before the con, when someone's like, "Hey, do you want to come?" And I'm like, "Okay, shit, yeah, we can do that."
Yeah, rearrange my life.
Fine.
So and when Nicole was at I met her down at Comic Con. We didn't know when it was gonna be ready, kind of, because there was some snags. We were trying to come out during Pride, and then it just so happened that it was coming out in July. And I'm like, wait, oh my God, it's Comic Con, and I have a badge, and I go every year, and this is perfect. So we didn't have a booth or anything, but I just went down there with postcards that I made, and Nicole was already there signing stuff, and she graciously met up with me, and she took a bunch, and she, promoted it and talked about it at Prism Comics, who are great LGBTQ published comic publishers. So they were really great. And they're like, leave your stuff here on the table. And I was like, really? You don't care? So no, please, we love this. So, when she goes to New York, if she'll take some postcards, Truthman will be there. We plan to go to the Comic Cons over here in California, and the Los Angeles Comic Con. Some of us are talking about that. And Parade Magazine just did a big piece on us that's coming out soon. Maybe LA Mag is interested. I talked with them. So that's the way we're trying to promote this. And yes, and go to shows.
Although that said, if you would like us to come to your con, please send us an invite. We'd love to.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm always hustling.
What she said.
And also, I was going to ask about that. I mean, because
that's true.
And it's kind of weird because when we're promoting Countdown, there's people who don't do Twitter. There's people who don't do Facebook. There's people who don't do Instagram. And there's people who just do YouTube. So it's like, okay, well, we're here.
Yeah.
So have you guys thought about maybe local shops, not just in Los Angeles, but like shops in other comic book stores shipping out like maybe a press kit that people
I
can
think that's a
hand out
really good
flyers,
idea.
Mm.
you know, at the because it basically they'll have like a little section where they'll have like free items that people can
I
get.
think it's a really good idea.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I have postcards printed to go to locals, but maybe that's a good idea. Is like do that, but then
Yeah.
maybe the 8-page mini look into like, hey, could I print a bunch of these off when it's done? And
Yeah,
also
and do like a
leave
kind of
those,
limited release.
If y'all want, like I said,
Yeah.
I work with a lot of comic shops here. I mean, I work at Dragon's Lair and I have my regular 9 to 5 job and I do this on the top of it.
Because we're always hustling.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I don't get paid for this. I do this for fun because
Oh,
I
yeah.
want the creators to get acknowledgement for
Oh, yeah.
what the work they do, the artists as well. And there's other comic book shops in like in Austin and stuff like that. You know, if y'all want, I'll take some flyers to those shops. You know, I can
Thank you.
say, hey, would y'all want to, you know, put these out here? You know, it's written by so and so. I'm willing to do that to help promote you guys out there. Even
Thank you so
we
much.
are we're gonna have a panel, we're gonna have a booth at SpaceCon here in San Antonio.
Cool.
If you want, I can have some of those at our booth and I can hand
That's
those
really
out.
awesome.
When is that?
October. I have to double check the actual date. But I'll get you that information. But yeah, it's in October.
Okay, because then I could make sure I get them to you before that. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah,
Thank you.
because my buddy Ted does the panels where he interviews like the celebrities and stuff, and I'm the guy that's kind of normally at the booth. And we're
Mhm.
gonna actually, you're gonna love this, Adam. You may like this, Nicole. You remember Johnny Five?
Oh yeah, yeah. Is he gonna be there?
So there's a guy in Dallas who actually built a live action Johnny Five,
Wow.
and we're gonna
No way.
and we're gonna have him at our.
Do you know what he's talking about? Nicole?
No.
No, it's from a movie called Short Circuit. It was this robot that it was like the movie is great, by the way. You gotta.
It's
find
like
it.
a big Wally, basically. They took Wally from
Oh,
that.
work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really cute movie.
Love
actually,
Wally.
and, like I forgot about that movie.
yeah. So we're gonna have a live action Johnny Five at our booth, where people can take pictures with him. It's gonna be crazy.
That's awesome.
Wow, that's so
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, yeah.
And like I said, that's why.
When is that? You said October.
Oh yeah, I'll send it to you.
I'm going.
October.
I'm going to Frightmare. Is that the film festival in Austin? I think it is. Austin.
The
Yeah, I don't
Fantastic
know.
Film Fest.
No, is it called Frightmare, Adam? I'm asking Adam. Like we got invited for the Strangers 2 premiere he did for the company, so we're going the
Nice.
19th, I think.
Oh yes, no, that,
I think it's called Frightmare.
no, it's Fantastic Film Fest.
Fright
It's
Fest?
in the Alamo Draft House.
Oh,
Actually, I will be
Yes.
there because we cover Fantastic Film Fest.
oh, oh my
Fantabulous.
God!
I can
Dude,
grab them from.
We will meet, and I will. That's
Perfect.
amazing. I love so
Love
glad I
when
said that.
shit lines up like that.
Yeah, definitely.
I love when it
Well,
plans.
I don't want to take any more of
Yeah.
your time. I know you guys are busy. I do appreciate you guys coming
Thank you
out
so much.
and
Of course.
joining me on Countdown. I'm gonna post the
Appreciate
links
you.
as well once this interview drops on the YouTube as well. So, but again, thank you. I look forward to Justice League, Nicole. I look forward
Thank
to
you.
Truth Man.
It's gonna be really, really fun.
I can't wait.
We're doing
either.
some fun shit. I was working on some of the fight scenes today, and yeah. Yeah. We're
you
doing
know,
comic books, man. We're in it for the love of the game.
I hope they continue.
And I will say the stuff that Nicole and I were breaking like last week and stuff. That's also really fun, and I can't wait. I love the origin comic, and I can't wait to like move.
Now we're getting into
forward
world
from that and
building.
See,
Nice.
And that's my department
this
of mental illness.
yeah, I'm glad it is. And I'll say this too, like for fans of like crossover stuff, when we get to the movie, you will see Easter eggs from this comic in the movie where you're like, oh my god, so
And vice versa.
It's not everyone, and vice versa. So there'll be fun
Nice.
crossovers like that.
That is freaking.
Yeah.
I love Easter eggs. To me, that's when you see little things from shows or movies and other things.
Yeah.
You know, like even Rick and Morty, they talk about Airwolf. They talk about, you know, little things
Mhm.
that the older generation knows, and you're
Yeah.
like, what? Like, I'm like, wow. But either way, but yeah, Easter eggs are the best.
Yeah.
Airwolf. Wow, you're really pulling them out. You are pulling out
I told you,
all the nostalgia.
I'm old school
Yeah.
here. I mean, dude, I've got
I love
I've
it.
got Michael Jordan come fly with me. I mean, you're probably like, I'm a basketball fan. As you can tell, my Spurs hat. So this one came out a long time ago, and it's VHS, by the way. I still have this.
Hell
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. And do you still have a VCR? Though?
Actually, to tell you the truth, I do not. I don't have one anymore. But I am not
I
throwing
know.
this away. This is priceless for me.
No,
Look,
it is,
VCRs
it
come
is.
and go.
Hey, vinyl is coming
Yeah.
back. I don't see. I don't see. You know,
yeah.
they should
Oh,
start
vinyl
rebuilding.
is back.
Oh yeah,
The vinyl's
Oh,
been
yeah.
back. VCRs probably will come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah,
I mean-
VCR, stay tuned.
But again, thanks again, guys. Countdown. Go like and
Thank you.
follow. Follow Nicole. Follow Adam. Follow Truth Man. He has his own page as well. For more cool news we drop. And the same thing. Keep a lookout. We'll have flyers at our booth as well. So
Awesome. Thank you so much for having
Thanks,
us.
Retro Ray.
thank you so much.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
All right, guys. Peace.
All right. See ya.